Hello, my name is Taylor Davis. I am a rising senior at Elon University. I'm an accounting major, so it was only fitting that I would have an accounting internship. I had an accounting internship at an accounting firm called Skoda Minotti in Mayfield Village, Ohio. My internship lasted from May 29th to August 8th, so it was about 10 weeks. It was a great experience, and I want to tell you a little bit about it, so hope you enjoy. So a little bit of overview about Skoda Minotti to get started. Skoda Minotti is based in Mayfield Village, Ohio, as I said. It was started in the 1980s by two founders, Greg Skoda and Michael Minotti. Michael Minotti is a family friend. That's how I got this internship. I sent him my resume and he was able to get me an interview, so definitely very thankful for the opportunity because it was a great experience. Greg Skoda is the other founder. He's a great guy, so charismatic, really gets his employees motivated. And he has around 220 employees under the roof of Skoda Minotti, and that's combined between the three offices. One in Mayfield, Ohio, which is where I went to work every day. There's one in Akron, which is about 30 minutes away. It's on the west side. And then Tampa, Florida. And Tampa is really cool because it allows us to reach clients that we never would have been able to otherwise. And the other two, so Akron and Tampa, were acquired by sort of finding small CPA firms that were willing to be, or ready to be bought out. And we just brought them on board. And that's cool because it creates sort of a mix of different cultures at Skoda Minotti, and that's really something that was prevalent during my time there. Skoda Minotti offers a wide variety of services. There's marketing, financial planning, wealth management. IT is definitely the biggest. So it comes with the idea of being a full service firm. So if a client, we're doing a tax return or audit work for a client, we can say, we see that you need this in an IT department. Okay, well, we can do that for you. We could set up your servers, we could set up your phone systems. So it really allows us to get more business from our clients and help our clients even more than we normally would have been able to. There's a little list of awards that Skoda Minotti has received. Like North Coast 99 is for Northeast Ohio businesses. It's the sort of top 100 businesses in Northeast Ohio. And the other two just relate to how quickly Skoda Minotti has grown. Like I said, trying to find those small CPA firms that are ready to be bought out and acquiring those. So now that you know a little bit about Skoda Minotti itself, talk a little bit about my orientation process. Much more formal than I expected. I was sort of expected to get thrown in the mix. We sat in a training room for 2 weeks. It wasn't boring, but it definitely got tiresome because there was so much stuff to learn. And by the end, I came out, my head was spinning. I thought I knew nothing. But that first day when they sort of let us loose, I knew way more than I thought I did. And it was a really, really great experience. So the programs that we learned, and each of these programs was taught by a specialist in that field, which is really cool because it allowed us to meet different people. And our orientation process was scheduled. They gave us a big packet and said, you're with this person at this time on this day, for this long. So we knew exactly what we were doing ahead of time, which was really good. So those are just a couple of the programs. With time entry was just to enter your time or enter expenses if you drove on behalf of the company. Engagement is how they manage the audit binders, which have all the documents that are used in the process of an audit. Pro Systems Tax is different each year, and it's used to process tax returns. Excel, everybody knows that. T-value, that was an amortization schedule, and fixed assets is for depreciation. So my learning objectives going into the internship was to find out whether I preferred audit or tax. You hear, oh, I like audit, I like tax. I didn't know because I had never really had an audit or a tax class. I just had accounting classes. So I definitely was able to achieve that goal. My second objective was to complete at least one tax return by myself, which I completed more than one tax return by myself, definitely more than one. That was really cool because I was able to get so much experience, so many different little things. I'd do one thing in tax, then my next project would be an audit. I mean, it was really cool to get that kind of experience. I did find out I do prefer audit. Some people say tax is like a puzzle. it's a puzzle I don't understand. I mean, it is logical, but I prefer audit. I feel like a detective kind of when I'm doing audit, and I think it's really cool. So my most interesting project that I worked on was field work. I actually went out in the field 3 times, which was awesome. I got to work with people from the office, and you'd go out to a client. And it was for a company called Mesocoat. They do a coating on the inside of oil and gas pipelines that prevents corrosion. And the way they put it on is crazy. They took us in the back and showed us, I mean, all the different equipment that they have. It was unbelievable, and I'll never forget it. And it was really cool when I worked there too, because I was doing sort of financial testing. I was doing fixed assets tests, liability, search for unreported liabilities, and bank reconciliations. And I enjoyed that because I was doing it on my own. Somebody give it to me and say, do this, and then I would do it. Nobody was really walking me through it, which was cool that I was able to do that. And I also got to deal directly with the CFO, which was very cool as an intern to be able to go in and sort of talk to him and say, we need these documents. And it was a really, really great experience. So just a typical day, really quickly. I worked 32-hour weeks, Monday through Thursday. They didn't really need us on Fridays because there wasn't as much work during the summer as in, busy season like April. And I worked on a ton of different projects. I'd come in the morning and, start whatever it was. I would get assigned projects from Catherine, sort of was like the leader of the interns, and she would give us projects and we would perform them and then submit them to whoever they were for. Like I said, huge range of experience, and a really cool thing was that partners, everybody, but partners especially, have an open door policy. So if you have any questions at all, you can feel free to go to anybody, and they were all so helpful, so friendly, and I couldn't have asked for anything more. Like I said, approachability and family culture, everybody is so close. I mean, just sitting in the lunchroom, hanging out with everybody, it was truly a great place to have an internship and a great place to work. So the only sort of time I felt outside of my comfort zone was when a new partner, so I was saying how Skoda Minotti has picked up small CPA firms. There's a very small CPA firm and out of the Akron office, and I was working with him through one of the partners through email and phone only, and he would email me at like really weird times, like 5:30 in the morning. It was pretty strange, but he had all these journal entries written by hand, and I had no idea how to do it. And it was for a tax return, and I had never done a tax return. I had never had a tax class, so I was a little bit confused. And a lot of people in the office helped me out. Ryan, this tax specialist, helped me out, and I learned a ton, but it was definitely challenging. I definitely felt outside my comfort zone when he just said, "Okay, do this," and I'd be like, "I don't know how to do that," But by the end, I did, and I really learned a lot. Professional development. This internship, I mean, that is 2 words to sum up this internship. I mean, I have grown a ton from this internship. I worked with so many different people in different positions, whether that be working with a partner or working with a staff accountant or a senior staff or a manager, and then beyond that, working with higher level people at the companies I was performing fieldwork at, CFOs, and it was a truly great experience. And I am already fairly comfortable in a business setting just because my dad would bring me to meetings, when I worked at his business. And but this made me more comfortable as an individual. I felt comfortable. I went to lunch with pretty much every partner at the firm, and I felt 100% comfortable. It just really allowed me to be more sure of myself. And also, it allowed me to get a great sense of pride in the work I was doing. And I really think that that's important to have. Okay, so I learned a ton, obviously. I learned that I prefer audit to tax. And I learned that I can be more confident in my work. I would sort of second guess myself a lot, but then I'd turn it in, and the person would be like, "Oh, you did a great job, like, thank you so much." And I'd be like, "Okay, I thought that this might be wrong, but I just need to be more confident in my work." So that was great. But there's one thing that I learned, at the end of my internship, I had a meeting, and they said, "Okay, you did this really well, but this is what you need to work on." And I really value that because I really want to know what I didn't do so well. And that was that, I guess, if somebody would give me a project, I'd be so excited to start it that I wouldn't really listen as closely as I needed to. So I'll definitely take that to heart and work on that in the future. Another thing I learned is that the accounting industry is so intertwined. There were people from PwC, KPMG. I mean, people had worked everywhere, and one of the senior managers I worked with a lot had just come over from Deloitte a year ago. So all the accounting world is very intertwined. People come from here. People just really work at all these different companies, and I think that's kind of cool. Accountants are as friendly as can be. A lot of people make accountants out to be, just sort of keeping your head down, not very sociable, but everyone was so friendly, so sociable, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved the culture that I was in. And this affirmed my suspicions that accounting is definitely the career for me, and I couldn't ask for anything more. So what classes prepared me for this best? Intermediate accounting with Dr. Polson, definitely. She really emphasized, the why behind every problem, and I think that really helped me learn quicker. Biz Econ with Curry Hilton, solely because when I was navigating Excel spreadsheets, I could do it so quickly, and I knew all these little shortcuts, and that's because of him. And so I really value that experience. And those are two that really stood out to me. But I think that all of my accounting courses together built a foundation that really allowed me to grasp onto everything that was being sort of thrown at me throughout the course of this internship, and I really value my accounting courses that I've taken at Elon. So the only thing I would have done differently is taken a tax class before my internship, because the other interns had all taken tax before, and I think that really sort of hindered me because I was a little bit behind. Now I definitely feel more comfortable, but it was definitely a problem at first. And other than that, like I said before, I felt 100% adequately prepared for my internship. So, sort of in closing, I enjoyed my time at Skoda Minotti. I can't even describe how much I enjoyed it. I was so sad to leave, and Catherine, sort of the leader of the interns, she was tearing up as we were leaving. I mean, we all got really close. I mean, and from what we heard, we all did an amazing job. All four of us actually got job offers there, which was so exciting. I created so many amazing internships, whether that be with partners, staff, managers, whoever, and the interns as well. And I value those relationships. Over my breaks, I'll definitely go back and say hi to people. I also made valuable connections that I can use going forward. Partners have been everywhere, and they said if you ever need any help, even if you're not going to come back to Skoda Minotti, I know people here, I know people there. Here's my card. If you need anything, give me a call. And that was really, really great to see. It was an amazing experience. I learned so much, and I'm really thankful that Elon really pushes us to do these internships because I think they offer invaluable experience. So I really hope you enjoyed this presentation. My email is tdavis18@elon.edu if you have any questions, and hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.